This is The Way You Lead, a show for the new era of leaders who are ready to rise. I'm Joshua Church, and every week we explore how to lead from the inside out with strength, heart, and authenticity. Through stories, strategies, and conversations with embodied leaders, you'll gain what you need to lead yourself and others in today's changing world. The way you lead matters, and now is the time to step up. Chris Barber in the house.
Excited to be here.
Heck yeah. Right before we were recording, you were saying that you might be fidgeting a lot. Last time you were sitting still, it's been a while since you've sat still.
It's been a while, yeah. The few classes that I didn't skip back in university and then high school.
Yeah.
And then other than that, it's tough to get me to confine in a spot.
Do you like work at a standing desk when you're working or no?
I don't. I just will kind of,
Move.
jump up on the chair, like
Got it.
just a lot of movement.
like doing yoga poses.
Yeah,
while you're
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not down with dog, but basically everything else.
Do you have like ADD or ADHD or something like that? Or?
I remember talking to a doctor about it at one point, and I was like, I think I might have ADD, and then they were like, "Are you kidding me? Like, you definitely have ADD."
Of course you do.
Yeah,
that's fun. Did you ever go on medication for it or no?
I did, and it's helpful, but it's like I do feel a little more disconnected from myself.
Yeah.
So I stopped that many years ago.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like so many people are getting put on these meds. I should have been. Like, I don't know how my parents did. Thank God they didn't. But so many people.
Yeah, should have been in the world where you also have to sit down in the box and do all the stuff.
Which that feels like, why don't we change that?
Yeah, change
first?
that, but it's okay.
I mean, you're learning a lot about this right now as being a parent, right?
For sure.
And how are you? I mean, I know we could do a whole episode just on parenting as well, but how are you? Like, do you see things differently like that? Are you like, oh, the school system totally messed up or is not designed properly for today?
For sure.
Yeah.
Like, my opinion on that is like, sky high.
Yeah.
It's like completely unhelpful.
Yeah.
Basically. And it's also now it's, much in the past, it kind of maybe made sense when everyone had to kind of work in factories.
Right.
And then maybe white collar factories.
Right.
The main job of the future is trending in the direction of like entrepreneur only.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone becomes an entrepreneur.
Mm.
School is kind of exactly the opposite of what you'd want to do for someone.
Right.
If you wanted to train them to do that. It's like, just do what I tell you, get the mark, like study, cram for the test. Like, I'm going to set your schedule for you. You're not going to set it.
Right.
Like, yeah.
That's so true. It's like absolutely the opposite of the way that you actually problem solve or build anything in the real world, right?
Totally.
Is that a perspective that you have that everyone's going to be because of AI influence, I'm guessing, but
pretty much, yeah.
Entrepreneurship, you're going to be running your own thing?
It seems like that's the direction it's going to trend in. Like,
why is that?
Companies just get smaller and smaller. Every individual has much more power and much more leverage. We're going to get much more powerful tools.
Mm-hmm.
So we could do a lot more. The average company size will shrink. We could have a lot more companies. And so people that are practiced in doing their own thing, being able to lead themselves, that will be very helpful.
Right. And on like a basic human skills level.
Totally. Yeah, totally. Because everyone is already the entrepreneur of their own life.
Right.
For sure. And in the future, it'll also be of your work as well. Right. Everyone basically will be.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, everyone's already leading themselves.
Yeah.
So it's already a helpful skill set.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's so much of part of the reason why I love the name of the podcast that I rebranded to The Way You Lead, because it's all about the way you lead yourself. And yeah, I work with a lot of execs or people or founders that are leading organizations, and I love working with those people. And the way that you lead starts with the way you lead yourself.
Sakun Olam. Starts with how do you lead yourself? How do you lead your micro family?
Right.
How do you lead your micro community? Yeah, totally.
Yep. Has becoming a father shifted the lens and how you look at what leadership means for yourself?
Has becoming a father shifted how I view self-leadership?
Or leadership in general? Because you're leading many humans.
Yeah, I think it's just another emphasis on the importance. And like, primary way kids learn, copying your behavior.
Right.
So anything, like you can't do one thing and then tell them, hey, by the way, don't do that. The message you're telling them, that's like on the surface you're saying, hey, don't do this.
Right.
But the actual message you're communicating, which this may come up in resonance as well, but the actual message you're communicating is, hey, do this because I did it.
Children literally cannot.
Totally.
They won't.
And
see
adults basically only see this too. Like
Yeah.
we pretend like
Yeah.
that we can kind of communicate in words, but mostly we communicate in body language and all that other stuff
Yeah.
too, and actions.
Yeah.
So
And what is that like from like is that from a deep evolutionary standpoint or something like that? Like why is it that they just can't understand the concept of like
I think it's just like I mean, think about it. It's like, okay, cool. As a kid, you're trying to learn how to kind of survive, thrive, replicate. You know, like you need to be successful as a member of the species. The things that you see other people doing, those are more likely to be successful things because they're doing them. They've survived. Like they reproduced. They had you. So copying behavior is a lower risk move than doing what someone is not doing but tells you to do. It's kind of the same thing of like, do what I do, not what I say. Like if someone gives you advice and they're doing the opposite thing, don't. I also generally like don't very much believe in advice and much prefer just asking like, okay, cool. Can you just tell me what you did?
Right.
And then I can kind of draw my own conclusions, apply it to myself. But the advice is like often, you know, it loses all the information. And also maybe opposite of what they did.
Right. We've talked about this where oftentimes the person giving you advice is the opposite of what they actually did, right?
Totally. Or they're giving and they're giving advice for the thing that they are in right now. It's like we've talked about it with like, I recall talking about it with like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and stuff. And they tell people like, oh, you need to focus.
Yeah. One thing. Focus
you need to
on
do one thing. But then you look at like, what did Warren Buffett do? He had so many businesses when he was a teenager. Bill Gates, same thing. Like he did some traffic light company and then like did a bunch of other stuff. And like, you know, obviously early Microsoft had a lot of different products. And then by doing a lot of stuff, they found the one thing worth focusing on.
Right.
And then they double down on it. And then it's the correct advice, like do one thing.
Right.
But like the actual advice is like, if you're copying what they did, it's explore broadly. Once you have outlier things that are working really well, focus on them and double down.
Right.
But if you are starting out and you don't have that yet, and then you take their advice that they're saying to focus, you know, they tried 30 things, one of them worked. So you have a 1 in 30 chance of picking the right thing.
Right.
Which not good odds. Like,
not good
it's
odds.
much better. Do the explore. Once something's working, double down, do the exploit.
I think it's so funny. I was just having coffee with a friend yesterday who's a few years younger than me, and he was picking my brain based on where he's at in the career right now. And I said the exact same thing because he was just like, I feel like I need to stop doing this thing over here and just go all in on my passion business over here. And I was like, red alert. Like I often tell people, and especially because the thing he was focusing on over here was a cash flowing business.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, why don't you get this to the point where it forces you to then focus fully on there?
Totally.
And use the abundance, use the income, use the funds to not be operating in scarcity mode over here around your passion project, but use that, build a bridge. Like why take a jump when you can build a bridge?
Totally.
And I think it's, I mean, why do you think that's so common? I feel like that's such a common thing in the entrepreneurial world of like focus on the one thing and just go all in, because if your attention's split, then you're not going to get the most action going to leverage from it.
Yeah, very unhelpful advice. I think it's partly because once someone is successful, then the correct advice is to focus, and that is what they do.
And that's what grows
and people
them.
look to the successful people.
Yeah.
So anyone that they're looking to, it's like, what did they do most recently? Oh, they're very focused. Right now, they're very focused.
Yeah.
Once Warren Buffett found out that he was really good at investing after a bit, and another funny example is like Mark Zuckerberg had all these different projects and then did the thing that became the Facebook.
Right.
He had already raised money from Peter Thiel and other investors and still wanted to keep it a side project. Even after that point, he was so resistant to doubling down.
Really?
Which in my opinion is the correct thing.
Right.
It's like, because he's like, okay, cool. I really want to make sure this thing is an outlier. At that point, you know, he'd already had a bunch of success.
Yeah.
And he was still hesitant to focus on it.
That's
now, of
so
course,
interesting.
now like it's making so much money. It's very easy for him to stay focused on Facebook, the business, and like their main ads business. But then also you look, it's like, in some ways it kind of ends up going like, start with broad exploration, find the thing, that takes you to a certain scale, and this applies in business, but maybe in life too. Then once you've reached that certain level of scale, now the only way for you to grow again is to explore again. And so then you see like him trying to do meta reality and all the AI stuff and like this product by this company, blah, blah, blah. Like you need the portfolio to like find the next thing that's going to tick you off again.
So interesting. And that's that's an approach you take as well, of just many, I mean, how many different concepts or ideas do you think you've spun up in your career?
Hundreds.
Hundreds.
Yeah, hundreds.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the success rate is like 5% kind of thing.
Wow.
Is my guess.
That's incredible.
Someone told me, I remember reading something. It's like 2 helpful modes for being an entrepreneur to either be very autistic, where you can hyper focus on one thing, or to be very ADD, where you just like do everything. And like both of those are reasonable. So like I'm saying I'm like very much a pro of the like do everything mode, but I also know people who've been super successful by doing the hyper focus thing.
Totally.
And they picked one thing and they did it really well. And that worked great for them, and it was never going to work for them to do lots of stuff that fit their personality. And they picked right as well. They picked the thing that ended up working.
Yeah, because I always like, for me, I'm similar to you, where I always love to have a lot of projects. Even when we were building Edge, like I kept the podcast and I was like doing retreats. Like there's something really important to me too, also from an identity standpoint. I'm not allowing my identity get too wrapped up into something that's fragile and can go at any moment, which happens a lot, right? Getting your identity wrapped up in a business or thing. And so I always, like, even in high school, I always had better grades during football season when I had less time. When I just had when I had more going on, I just operate better. When I had a full plate
mindset kind of thing.
I guess so, yeah. Then when it was like I had little going on. And I think part of that too is that when you're working on multiple things, you have your hands in many pots. Like right now I have that very much so. It's awesome because like one thing can get like really, really hot on the stove and it's like, oh cool, I want to bring all my attention to cooking with these ingredients over here, and this is really energizing. And then naturally it's like, okay, I need to let it simmer. I got to put it in the oven and let it bake, and I need to let it simmer. I'm waiting on someone else to support with this, so like cool, let me let that simmer, and now I can go put my hand over here and oh, this is really energizing. And I can keep kind of moving these things along. And the reality is that hopefully one of them becomes something where it's like, oh cool, now I can go really deep. But if not, then I'm not like, oh, now I'm starting back from square one and I'm starting back from scratch and I got to figure out another idea, build momentum, or I put all my eggs in this basket, now it doesn't work.
100%. Yeah, I think it's just one of those like things that people do unintentional and kind of well-intended white lies about, because that's kind of what the media forces you to have, the narrative of like, this was the thing, and like we did this and this was the plan from the start, and like the fake Netflix story of like, oh, we tried to return a DVD at Blockbuster and they wouldn't take it or whatever. It's like it's all BS, but like the media wants that like kind of clean narrative. Totally. People want the advice of like, oh yeah, you know, pick the thing, that's what's working for me now. Yeah,
and I think those are I love that Mark Zuckerberg story. That's really interesting because those I feel like are usually it's usually the opposite that you see as those are the outliers. Like, not that it can't be done, but like, okay, I had this brilliant idea for a social network and like I went all in on it and I spent 10 years, I started in the garage and we just did not quit. We did not change course and now we're successful, and you got to stick with it. And I think there's elements of that are true in the sense of like, you have to keep showing up and you have to stick with however you're showing up consistently, and you have to be willing to outlast. And that's not in a vacuum. Like, you have to be able to pivot and you have to be able to shift. But I feel like that's so much of the narrative, and that's just the outlier.
Yep, totally. And it's wild, even with the Zuck thing, obviously he's one of the most successful CEOs in the world, and most people don't know that story.
Yeah, I didn't know that story. So like, even so you're saying after he took money from Peter Thiel and it was like, great, he's proof of concept.
He was resistant to dropping out and making it a full-time project. It was like he still wanted to work on something else.
I was gonna say, I wonder what was the side projects that he wanted to still work on, and I wonder if they're in the world. Probably not.
I wonder.
I think he made the right call going and doubling down on Facebook.
Yeah, totally.
Amazing. So, okay, one of the things that I'm excited to chat with you about today and can go through in real time is one of the things it seems like you're very passionate about here, which 100%. Is this concept of resonance. So why don't you explain to me a little bit about the concept? We can talk a little bit about it at a high level, and then we can go into it.
Sounds great. I'll join you in this break.
Mm-hmm. And I think I'm excited for this. I know we've been like you've been waiting to share and to teach me this technique in real time, so I haven't learned it yet. I'm sure I've learned things that are adjacent to it, but not this specifically.
That way we can see what comes up for you live. It's real challenges, etc.
Great. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about like what is resonance.
Yep. Okay. Awesome. So Resonance is an emotional regulation tool.
Okay.
And kind of what that means is people use it to help others that they care about process emotions,
Okay.
especially big emotions.
Hmm.
And so it's mostly people use it with their partner,
Mm-hmm.
their kids if they have them, their clients if they're a coach,
Mm-hmm.
and then also sometimes with themselves.
Yep.
And so you can kind of think about it like an upgraded version of active listening. That's one way to think of it.
Got it.
So it's a way of speaking. It's like how to regulate emotions with words.
Fantastic.
And I know that a lot of the people that are in your crew are very into manifestation and this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was having a fun chat yesterday with Nina about how resonance relates to this kind of stuff.
Love it.
So one way to think of when you're in the vortex,
Mm-hmm.
you're emotionally regulated.
Right.
When you're flowing, you're emotionally regulated.
Mm-hmm.
When you are open, like unblocked, high vibe, emotionally regulated.
Yeah.
When you are in a limiting belief, emotionally dysregulated. When you are blocked, dysregulated. So
And scarcity, dysregulated.
Scarcity, dysregulated.
Fear, dysregulated.
Fear, dysregulated. So I love and kind of very much agree with, when you are in that open flowing state, anything you want, you're more likely to get.
Right.
But the challenge with a lot of the kind of manifestation resources is it's kind of like, okay, how do I do it? It's kind of like, well, just feel good.
Yeah.
Just feel good and then you'll get the thing.
Yeah.
But like, what if you have a block? Like,
Yeah.
what do I do? Like, what do I do
How do you
specifically?
transmute? How do you shift?
Totally.
Yeah. That baseline.
And so one way to view that is like, whenever you are not in that kind of high flying vortex, you have some emotions that are stuck. And so if you can either help yourself process those emotions, or if someone else can do that for you,
right.
then you can get back to that flowing,
Yep.
open state.
Mm-hmm.
So something that me and Nina will do a lot for each other is like, hey, can you resonate me about this? Hey, can you resonate me about this? It's like, it's a
Cool.
tool that you can teach someone else,
Mm-hmm.
and then they can help you process emotions. Like some of Nina's friends will call her like, hey, could you resonate on this? Like something big emotion came up and like need help right now to process it because they're about to go and like do an event or like do something.
Yeah.
And like they need the help right away. It's like, that's where resonance fits in.
Cool.
So it works even if the other person knows you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it works even if you ask them for it.
Mm-hmm.
It works even if they disagree with you on the thing. It's like just a technique they can use to help you process those big feelings.
Fantastic. And it seems like it's a real-time tool. It's like
Real time.
It's a real-time tool that you can move through. I love even just the language around being able to say, hey, can you resonate with me on something? Because it brings that awareness within yourself of like, I'm noticing that I have some sort of feeling here that is I need to and is asking you to be moved, and I need a mirror. I need some reflection here, some help to be able to process through it. Because at the end of the day, our feelings just want to be felt. That's all they're here for.
1000%. Feelings want to be felt. They have to do their job.
Mm-hmm.
Their job is to help our body communicate information internally.
Right.
If we can help them do that faster, then we will go back to open, calm, flowing faster.
Yeah, that's so cool. And so you've been using this tool for a while. It's a tool.
Yeah, a couple years.
You've created this tool. It's your version.
I don't take credit. My subconscious will take the credit.
There you go.
I didn't try and create it. I just kind of found myself. I was thinking about the first mentions of it I can find in my notes like 5 years ago.
Oh wow.
And then started using it a lot around when our son was born with him. So around 4 years ago.
My godson.
Yes. And then started teaching it to people maybe last year. And it's mostly something that we'll use in like, most commonly, 30 seconds or less.
Wow.
So it's like very brief thing. If something is a bigger emotion, it might be a minute, 2 minutes.
Yep.
Like that's kind of the time ranges. So
yeah.
It's very convenient. There's some other tools I love, but they're more like 30-minute tools. And so they don't fit very well.
Right.
It's like, oh, I need to schedule a call with a person, with a coach. I need to sit down. I need to have an uninterrupted block.
Yeah.
Whereas like most of the moments that come up don't fit that. So resonance is very
Ooh,
convenient.
very good. Okay, I'm really excited for this because I use my journal as my main tool for resonating myself or for moving through the emotions. And but you're right. It's that like I need to give myself that block tomorrow morning where I can really sit into it and feel into it. And I think that's probably still necessary when there's some of these really big charged or heavy charged emotions. But like you're saying, most of the time throughout the day, it's like these little micro things that throw us off or that catch our stuff. And if we can shift it there and stop it there from building up the dam, then we don't necessarily have to have this overflow.
Yep. Building up the dam. That's good.
Yeah.
Totally.
Cool. And then it sounds like the use cases, and we'll talk about this after as well, because I'm sure a lot will come up, but parenting, working with your, I've seen Nina do this with Link. Before and Ruby. I've seen her do it, and I've seen you do it too.
Yes.
Where it was wild to see. It was actually wild to see. And now I see other parents and other kids melting down. I'm like, oh wow, I feel like that tool would probably be really helpful for that. It's super cool.
Yeah, so parenting's game changer. That's probably where we use it most frequently.
Right.
The second most common would probably be relationships.
Yeah.
The other thing that is that people are excited about is using it with themselves for self-regulation. And then which is mostly the kind of very personal growth oriented types or coaches, things like that, who want to use it with clients as a tool, helping them process their emotions.
And then, I mean, from in a relationship standpoint, I can just imagine oh my goodness, because now you have a way of talking about your feelings, right?
Complete game changer.
And it feels like a more approachable, accessible way, because I can't imagine how many arguments or relationship issues stem from that like lack of communication around
98% of them.
98% of them. Yeah. So this can be a tool in using Okay.
Unreal. Now the downsides of it are that it probably takes maybe a couple hours of practice to get like really good. You can get like the basics quicker, but it probably takes a couple hours of practice to get really good. That's probably the biggest downside.
Yeah, you have to implement it. It's like any tool. It's not just going to magically work. You have to use it, and you have to practice it.
And there's a bunch of little nuances where, it'll be a little harder than you expect because it's extremely, extremely simple.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yep.
But it's also somewhat of a false simplicity where it's like, oh, it looks like riding a bike's really easy. And then the first time you do it, might be a little harder than you expect.
Right.
Kind of same thing. But also like riding a bike, eventually you practice a little bit and then it's
amazing,
super easy. You never have to think about it ever again.
Fantastic.
Kind of like that.
Great. Cool. So do you want to teach me?
Yes, I would love to.
Heck yeah, let's do it. We'll get this real time.
So I will have you resonate me on something. That's how we'll do it.
Okay.
So there's 3 separate tools.
Okay.
First one is copy statements. Second one is guess statements. And then the third one is exaggeration statements. So we'll do them one at a time.
Okay.
So a copy statement, so I'll explain it briefly and then I'll start saying stuff about my topic and then you'll just do that back to me.
And we can also do it if you want to resonate me on something. I can come up with something. There's plenty of things that I can be resonated on as well.
Nice.
So we can also do that way if you want.
So a copy statement this is the tool that's probably most similar to active listening. Active listening is a bit more paraphrasey. Copy statement, think less paraphrase and more use at least 3 of the words I'm using.
Less paraphrase, use 3 or more of the words you're using.
Exactly.
Great.
Yes. Good copy statement. And if I say too much stuff and you can't kind of remember, just do it something from the end, like or whatever you do remember. Okay. So I'm super excited about resonance, particularly like recently after the recent podcast that I did about it.
Amazing.
Yes.
Oh, we're doing this. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So after the last podcast you did, so you've been really excited about this?
Yes, exactly. And I just had more, partly it was like, it was 2 days ago, yesterday or something. I checked my other inbox on Twitter and then I saw a bunch of DMs that I hadn't noticed because I'd gone to the other inbox of like people that had listened to it and resonated with it.
Oh, that's cool. So when you saw there was more messages in the other inbox, you got even more excited
exactly.
about it. Yeah.
And it just kind of feels like it's kind of alive now.
Oh, it's alive now
that it's out there.
I like that.
Yes, exactly. Awesome. So that's 3 in a row. You did the copy statements. Great. Now we'll do tool 2.
Okay.
Which is guess statements. So, and what do you think about first tool copy statements is like, if you do copy statements, I can feel understood.
Mm-hmm.
If you do guess statements, I can feel seen. And then if you do exaggeration statements, which is the third tool,
Right.
it's kind of increasing difficulty as
Sure.
well. Then I can feel emotionally regulated.
Okay.
And all of this, the view of all this is like, emotions have a job. They want to be felt.
Right.
The more effectively and quicker you can help someone else do that, the sooner that emotion will dissipate.
Right.
It's going to be there until it's felt.
Right. And then it dissolves and it moves.
Totally.
It moves.
Exactly.
Emotion, energy, and motions. Energy moving.
Totally.
It's a move.
Totally.
Yeah.
100%. So a guess statement is a copy statement plus like a connector word like but, because, or you wish. And then say what you think I'm thinking, but not saying.
Got it. Okay.
In my words.
Okay.
So this is kind of medium similarity to active listening.
Mm-hmm.
Like active listening is more on labeling, but in
Right.
guess statements, we're not going to do any labeling.
Right.
So sometimes a thing that I'll see people do is like someone else is obviously feeling sad, but then the person like says like, "Oh, are you feeling sad?"
Mm-hmm.
Which is actually going to resonate less than if you say the thing that they would say, which might be like, "I really didn't like that they did that."
Yeah. Got it. Okay.
Um,
And where does like one of the things that I use a lot during active listening is
Yes.
I'll say something like it sounds like you're feeling XYZ, or it sounds like where I guess is that like I'm paraphrasing more, or I'm
I would say
is that kind of copying in a way?
yeah, it mostly matters what comes after that. You can do that or you can leave it off. I mostly
Okay.
leave it off.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I include it. I don't think it helps, but
Okay.
I also don't think it's
Okay. Cool. All right.
And a thing that I remembered is this is as context on resonance, like 2 examples from people that I've taught it to. So one is a friend where like they were skiing and midway down the thing, like the girlfriend was kind of done. She's like, she went off to the side, sat down. She's like, I'm done with this. Like, I want to stop. And like the before resonance kind of might be, oh, like you're doing so well. Like you're so close to the end. Like you've got this. Like it's all good.
Yeah.
The after resonance might be like, oh, you're done. Like you're probably tired. Are you hungry too? Like we've been out here for hours now and you didn't even want to do this slope in the first place. Like you kind of, maybe you feel like I forced you to do this one. You were hesitant.
Yeah.
And the second one is going to make those emotions release so much faster.
Oh yeah. Just to be heard and seen and felt.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. It's like,
Amazing.
Oh, great. Like I've successfully communicated here.
Yeah.
What I was trying to communicate with my body and everything. You've
Yeah.
got it. Boom. Emotions done.
Right. And that takes, I can see the development that takes in that person to be able to be like, to have that compassion and that understanding and that curiosity versus like, no, come on, we're having so much fun or we're almost done. Like, come on, don't do that. Don't pull out now. Like, come on.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yep. And similar one, like another friend taught their scenario, they came home later than they were expecting. And then their girlfriend was annoyed at them. Like, oh, why are you like, why didn't you come home when you said you were going to come home? The before resonance might be like, oh, well, I told you that there was a chance that I was going to be late, or like, oh, why didn't you do some of the other stuff that you had been wanting to do while you were waiting for me? Whereas the after resonance might be like, oh, like I came home way later than I told you. Like you were probably wondering where I was and wondering when I was going to come back.
Right.
And like, you didn't even know what you could start because you didn't even know how long the time was going to be.
Right.
Like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's totally
And
different.
the second one, like
scenario.
And the second one, it's like a 1 minute thing.
Yeah.
And the first one, it's like, okay, cool. Like now that's your night.
Right.
Now you have bad vibes. One way to think of resonance is like whenever there's like bad vibes or bad mood,
Yeah.
that is a sign that there are stuck emotions in the interpersonal dynamic. And if you would like to get rid of them, the way to do it is to run towards them with resonance, make them fully felt, and then it can go back to open and flow.
That's good. I like that. Whenever there's bad vibes, it's usually a sign that there's some stuck or unprocessed emotions present.
Totally. If ever someone says like, I'm fine, like it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, or if they're saying like, oh, why? Like, why are you doing that? Whenever someone's saying, this is another example of the kind of 2 layers of communication. If someone's saying their words like, oh, why'd you do it like that?
Right.
But if you're responding to the surface, you might answer the question of like, oh, I did it like that because of this. But what they're saying beneath is like, I don't like that you did it like that.
Yeah. There's judgment. Yeah.
So if you respond to like, oh, you don't like that I did it like that,
Mm-hmm.
then like that conversation takes a very different turn.
Right.
In the former, it's like now you're arguing back and forth.
Yeah.
In the latter, it's like you can just go directly at what they're actually communicating. And then it will
makes
resolve much
so
faster.
much sense. That's really good. Okay, so we've
Awesome.
got the copy statements as the first, which is mirroring in a sense of just repeating in a couple words the things that are most present, and then we have the guess statements.
Correct.
So that's now guessing or sharing what I feel like what's being not said or the way that you're really feeling.
Correct. And it's you're trying to do basically what would Chris say in Chris's words that he's not saying.
Got it.
But might be thinking.
Okay.
And one analogy for resonance in general, this is Nina's analogy, and I love it. It's that resonance is kind of like foam rolling for emotions.
That's good.
And so if you've done foam rolling, you'll know that kind of first you need to go roll around, find the spot.
Right.
And guessing is kind of foam rolling around and finding the spot. So with guessing, what you're trying to do is you're trying to find like, okay, where is that actual stuck emotion? Because it's generally, if it's stuck, it's probably not the one on the surface, because then it's less likely to be stuck.
Yeah.
So you kind of are using the guess statements as your like echolocation, like where is the, playing battleships, like where is the emotion?
Right.
And then once you find it, that's like kind of sitting with the foam rolling ball on that spot until it releases. That's your exaggeration statements.
Yep.
So that's kind of how they fit together.
Makes sense.
So this one is a copy statement combined with a connector word, but, because, or you wish. And then what might I be thinking, but not saying.
Right. And the connector words, but, because, you wish. There can be others, but those are the main ones. Yeah. But, because, you wish. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. Great. So let's see. And that's the cool thing about resonance, by the way, is that like, people naturally do parts of resonance.
Yeah, that was subconscious too. Even in that, it was just me wanting to understand.
Like it already exists in the wild. This is like taking something that exists in the wild, describing it, turning it into a bit of a recipe so that people can do more of it.
Right.
It's like, what's the most effective thing that exists in the wild?
Yeah,
it's kind of stuff that looks like resonance.
Yeah.
So what if people just double down on that? Kind of going back to the like stuff we were talking about earlier. Explore, try a bunch of stuff, see what works, double down on it.
Yeah.
I did that, and the thing that worked is the resonance.
It's great.
So like, okay, it already exists in the wild.
Build a system around it, and then
help people double down.
Right, and then it also is an entry point to teaching this to other people.
Totally.
Because I think a lot of people do this naturally, and there's an emotional intelligence and EQ factor. I think a lot of emotionally intelligent people do this naturally.
Yep.
And this doesn't come natural to a lot of people also.
Correct.
And even if you do it naturally, having a sort of system behind it can help you do it even more effective and do it better. And being able to have a system or recipe, as you say, around it then can be the gateway to helping teach people emotional intelligence.
Yes, exactly. All right, let's see. So I think I'm feeling super excited because it was a more positive reception than I was expecting. And yeah, I'll leave it there, actually.
It sounds like there's more positive than you're expecting, but there's some hesitation.
Yes, totally. There is. It's like I know that there will be a next wave of challenges. Like I know that, I know there's going to be a next wave of challenges.
So there's going to be a next wave of challenges. Is there a fear behind that?
Let's see. And one coaching on that is like, what would Chris say there? So
got it. Okay. Versus asking, because naturally I want to ask more questions. I'm more curious, but you're saying it's more of a statement.
And you can do a question, but think about it as like, what might Chris say? And I might like, you're just trying to guess at some words that I would have in my mouth. And you can do it as a question though. Like, oh, are you thinking kind of this?
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, it's like, I know there's more work up ahead or something like that. I know there's more. Yeah. I know there's going to be a next layer of challenges.
There's going to be a next layer of challenges, and that feels scary or feels challenging in some way.
Yeah, it is going to be challenging. It's like I want to get fully excited about it.
Right.
But I also know that like soon I'm going to find the next layer of challenges, and like, yeah.
So there's excitement and there's also some fear or hesitation because, you know, the more you get excited about it, there's also going to be more challenges.
Totally. And like, but I'm so stoked that the reception was positive. In particular, like I had a bunch of people reach out about, okay, how do I do it myself?
Right.
Which is cool because that's a particularly unique aspect. And also some people about the using it with their girlfriends in particular.
Super cool.
Yeah, so I'm very excited about that.
Super cool.
Yeah.
And it sounds like there's still some deeper hesitation. I'm curious what's at the root of that.
And yeah, a coaching note I'll do on this one is like add the copy statement as well. And then for if you're doing questions are good. Try and do a closed-ended question.
Okay. For example.
So you could do like, oh, is it kind of you're more concerned about this or you're more concerned about that?
Okay. So really drilling down specifically through this context. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Or basically closed question or yes, no question.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had a bunch of people very excited, but I'm like holding myself back from fully like feeling all the excitement or something. But it's like there.
Right.
It wants to be felt.
Yeah, there's the excitement.
Yes.
But there's also this element of holding you back.
Yes.
Because
nice connector.
Because you are not sure about where this is all going, or because
probably that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I just like I know there's gonna totally. And by the way, you can tell that resonated with me because I immediately went into going off to something. Yeah, that's a good sign. Mm-hmm. And whenever you do make incorrect guesses as well, still helpful. Think of it as people always appreciate incorrect guesses. Oh, and something I'll note is like some people will feel uncomfortable about doing statements.
Yeah.
And in fact, a lot of people.
Yeah.
In that case, just do them all as questions.
Okay. Yeah.
They work equally well.
Great.
Yeah, totally. It's like I'm just certain there's going to be a next. There always is a next challenge.
Yeah.
I'm really excited right now. I just don't know what it's going to
be. Yeah.
And that was great too, by the way. I noticed there you kind of like, that's something that I'll sometimes do in resonance is you basically did a copy statement while I was talking, which is great. Sometimes a challenge people run into with resonance is it's almost like the other person isn't used to getting resonated. And so they want to talk for so long. Mm-hmm. The problem with that is like how effective your resonance is proportional to how much resonance you're doing.
Right.
So if you have to wait 2 minutes for them to respond, that's tough.
It's going to take a lot longer. Yeah.
So that way you did it just then is kind of exactly how I would do it with someone that is talking a lot.
Right.
Is like you just kind of overlaying it while they're going.
Yeah.
They don't even need to stop.
Yeah. That's great.
Your background track. Yeah, there's going to be some next challenge and I don't know what it is. And like, it'll probably be fun, but it'll probably be annoying. And like, I really want to feel all this excitement, but I'm like hesitant because I don't know how big the next challenge is going to be or something.
Yeah. So you want to feel all the excitement for it, but you're almost holding yourself back because like you don't want to get too excited and then get smacked on the ground because there's another challenge.
Yes, exactly. Awesome guess statement. Okay. So, all right. So that's guesses done.
That's guesses. Okay, great.
The next one is exaggeration. The way to think of exaggeration is there's kind of a couple reasons why someone's emotion might be stuck. The first one is just like it hasn't even been understood. Mm-hmm. So that's a copy statement. That's just like, I'm making it understood. You feel understood. Second is it's not kind of visible. That's a guess statement. It's like, okay, cool. Now it's on the surface. At least it exists.
No, there's clarity on what it is. Yeah.
Yep. And then the third one, if you've done the guess statements and you kind of know you need this, is like if you've done the guess statements, but the other person almost like they haven't moved on. Like there's still some tightness in their body language, or there's still like you can see with me, like I'm still kind of conflicted about this.
Totally. Yeah.
And what there's is like there's some stuck emotion.
Right.
And when we do the demo, like we may not go to the end where I get to the resolution.
Yeah.
Like it may take like another minute or two.
Yeah.
And it's or longer sometimes.
Yeah.
Or shorter. But that's how you can kind of tell like, okay, cool. Like what might be going on here is it seems like I found the right spot.
Yeah.
But it's still there.
Yeah.
Therefore, probably what's happening is it's the right thing, but just the intensity at which this other person, some part of them feels it, the intensity that it needs to be felt at hasn't been reached.
Got it.
This is the tool that is, zero similarity to active listening. And it's also the hardest. Like, a lot of people can't do it at all.
Yeah.
At least on first try. It's the most important tool for emotional regulation. Mm-hmm. And because that's kind of where emotions get stuck, is they're way bigger. One analogy that I like a little bit in my head is you can think of resonance kind of as related to VO2 max and resting heart rate recovery time. So heart rate recovery time is like, if someone else is feeling a big emotion, how quickly can you help them get back to calm, open, and flowing?
Nice.
And it's like, if you go to resonance, you could probably do it in like 2 minutes most of the time.
Right.
When someone else is feeling a big emotion. And if you're not, sometimes it can literally take months. Like people can have like months of stuck dynamics. More commonly, it's going to be like, a day or whatever. They sleep it off. Because our body does naturally do all this kind of stuff.
Right.
Like when we sleep, we're regulating emotion. When we go to a yoga class, we're regulating emotion. Resonance is just a particularly kind of
it's more
concentrated.
Exactly. Directed tool.
More directed. Yeah. Totally. And so resonance is more directed.
An exaggeration statement is what we're going to do now.
Yes.
Okay.
And what was I saying with the thing?
An analogy you like to use is the VO2 max.
VO2 max is kind of like how big of an emotion can you help someone feel? How intense? So that's kind of exaggeration.
Yeah. Yep. Makes sense. And the reason why that is usually that's the last layer, and that really is there is because our subconscious, we can rationalize and feel things and we can talk about it, but it's like it's bigger than we're putting it into words. And so we need to mirror them in this exaggeration. So let's hear it.
Totally. Way to do this is you start out by exaggerating the words. So it's like the first sentence might be like, you kind of didn't like that. And then the second sentence might be like, you kind of hated that. And the third might be like, oh, you really hated that. And the fourth might be like, you hated that more than like anything that's happened in the past few months. And then the last one might be like, this is the worst thing that's happened for like the past like decade, or the worst thing that's ever happened to you. Yeah. And you just kind of keep going. You'll know when it kind of gets to that right spot.
And it's statement, not question.
You can do either again.
Okay.
If you've already landed the guesses and you know exactly what you're doing, then maybe you'll do statements.
Got it.
If you haven't, then maybe you'll do questions. And the thinking here is you always want to go slightly beyond what the other what you think it might be. You're very unlikely to get it accurate.
Yeah.
If you go a little bit beyond, you might get enough.
Okay.
If I have an emotion that is like an 80 out of 100 and you are giving me resonance on it out of 20, maybe it goes down to a 60. If you give me an 80 or above, an 85, a 90, whatever, it can go down to 0.
Right.
Or like close to 0. So, and you kind of do words first and then tone second.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, it's like there's the two big things I think is like okay, I know there's going to be some like next challenge. I don't know what it is. And like, I'm really, really, really stoked, but I'm like, this is making me hesitant to fully feel this.
Yeah. It sounds like this is one of the things you've been most excited about in your career even.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, absolutely.
Which has to feel really
great
exciting.
Resonance, by the way. You can see that immediately. Like, okay, that clearly resonated.
Which feels exciting and also makes the fear, the challenges that much more strong. Totally.
Because it's like, I'm like, oh, great, this is sick. And then but it's also going to be like immediately down from that kind of peak. Kind of
thing. It feels like does it feel high stakes? Like, does it feel high stakes with what you're working through?
It does feel high stakes. Yeah, it does feel high stakes.
And it seems that tempers your ability to feel the excitement fully, knowing that it's high stakes or there's
and it's also just like, it's all very novel. It's like, it's a bunch of stuff that I haven't done before. Normally I'm doing like bootstrap startups just to make money.
Yeah.
And we're doing stuff in the VC world and the startup world. But now I'm doing like this random emotion regulation stuff, tweeting about stuff, or like doing podcasts or whatever, a bunch of stuff that I've never done. So it's like the combo of super excited, also very novel.
Yeah. Super excited and also really novel.
Yes,
it's a whole different realm that you're playing in.
Totally, a whole different realm.
Which is scary because there's also things that you don't know.
Totally.
When it comes to that.
Yes, totally.
And it feels like you have such a powerful tool. You're so passionate about sharing others that there's probably the element of, crap, if I mess this up, then I'm not going to be able to get this out to the people who need it.
Less of that, but mostly of the like, it's like, I just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit uncomfortable about all the uncertainty.
Yeah. I could see a bit uncomfortable about the uncertainty. Yeah.
Totally.
And the uncertainty feels heavy. It feels, how does the uncertainty feel?
Oh, you've done way more than 3 good ones here.
Okay.
So we'll
go
stop in a sec.
Okay.
But
yeah. Interesting. Okay, cool. I like that. And
so, yeah. And then if you're going more from here, you'd be like, oh, this is like the newest thing you've ever done. And like,
right.
da-da-da.
And also, so I kind of used a guess statement at the end there of like, because I'm
which
guessing,
is correct. That's the right way to do it. You're kind of going back and forth between the two, because
right?
you kind of uncover new stuff.
Because I'm still trying to uncover and figure out like,
Yes.
because for me, if I'm putting myself in your shoes, like I could see that would be something that I would be feeling is just like, oh, like I want to share this with people, and if I mess it up, I'm not going to.
Yep.
And like that could have just absolutely exploded.
Always make the guess.
Right. Okay, make the guess. Yeah.
Always make the
but
guess.
it didn't. And was it uncomfortable for me to make a guess that was inaccurate though?
Not at all for me.
Not at all for you. Okay. Okay.
And my sense is that maybe with someone that has not been resonated a bunch, and also with a resonator that hasn't used it a bunch, it'll probably feel a little awkward.
Yeah.
Once either they have been resonated a bunch or you have done it a bunch.
Yeah. Then it's just part of the game.
Totally chill.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you could see there was a bunch of things there where you said
That
like,
resonated.
really resonated.
Yeah.
And like some of those emotions,
Yeah.
like, processed. And if you were doing it more, if it was like you wanted to go, through the end where I'm open and flowing,
Yeah.
you would just basically take the ones that worked best,
Yeah.
repeat them, and do them at more intensity.
Got it.
Sometimes it's like foam rolling where you don't even need to change the intensity because you got it
yeah,
right.
you just
and
stay
just like
on the spot.
exactly, stay on the spot. Anytime it works, like
Yeah.
anytime something works for me as an exaggeration statement,
Right.
I will hit the same one like probably a couple times until it's no longer hitting.
Right. Okay. So like there was
You
more.
found the oil.
Right. So there was more for me to hit around the excitement of how excited you actually feel about this in your career.
More to hit around the like uncertain. There's
Yeah.
a bunch of things you said that really resonated, and there's
Yeah.
just more energy there.
Yeah.
Excitement.
Yeah. Well, the cool part about this
High
too,
career
just
stuff.
as I'm reflecting real time, is like we've talked about this, but through this conversation, I feel more connected with you through this because I didn't realize how really excited and how big this is
Totally.
for you.
Totally.
And so through that, I now also get that feedback as your
Yes.
brother-in-law to be like, that's awesome. Like
Yes.
I feel like I understand you and I feel more connected to you through this process now.
Great way to feel more connected to the people you care about. Great way to understand.
Yeah, understanding
the people you care
too.
about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like you just get it.
Yeah.
You're like in sync.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, so that's exaggeration.
That's resonance.
That's resonance. Boom.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I get my level 1 badge, my
Level 1 badge,
certification.
dude. Brown belt or whatever.
Yeah,
it would
yeah,
be.
exactly.
Yeah, I'd love
Very
to have,
good.
I'd love to have a resonance dojo at some point. That'd
Yeah,
be
that's
sick.
cool. I like that. The Resonance Dojo. That's sweet.
That'd be sick.
Very good. Okay, cool. So this is and in practicality, so I'm thinking now about maybe we can break down.
Yeah, and then I'm also curious, like, what were
Yeah.
some of the biggest like things you noticed as
Yeah.
you were doing
Yeah,
it?
sure. Let's start there.
That were like hesitations or
Yeah.
like biggest challenges.
For me, I think it'd be also because I do a lot of coaching and I work with a lot of clients. Doing the statements is different and a bit uncomfortable
Yes.
because usually I'm asking the question that leads them
Yeah,
there.
statements are weird because normally you're just going to do questions. That's like what
Yes.
you do always in the coaching sessions.
That's right.
And if you did that with clients, maybe they'd be.
Yeah, they might be.
It would certainly be very different.
It would be very different because
you're doing.
I also feel like for me as a coach, my job is to ask the questions that lead them to the clarity themselves.
Yes.
Even if I have it and it's like I know exactly, because saying it will not. And maybe that's part of the dynamic of being in a coach-coachee relationship, but
Yep.
like I'll know it pretty quickly,
Mm-hmm.
but I won't just come out and say it because that typically won't land. However, if I ask them the right questions and then they
Yep.
get to it themselves, it's their idea. Now it really lands and resonates with
Mhm.
them. And I've just held that space to help them get there.
Yeah.
So I notice that naturally I want to mirror and ask more questions and be a little bit more
Yep.
kind of a little bit more space, a little bit hands off versus like a little bit more hands on.
A little bit less directive.
A little bit less directive. Exactly. Yeah. So, but that's also, I'm not in a relationship right now, so I don't have the context of using it there. I can think about using it for my niece and nephew, but, and for friends as well. And I think that's where I think it is different in the context when your partner or your friend or someone is like, hey, can you resonate me through this real quickly?
Mhm.
Because now they're asking you for permission of like, I know what this entails. And
Yes.
like you doing guessing statements
I think that's
or
totally it.
is not going to like throw me off.
Totally.
So I think that's the bigger thing.
I think that's it. I think it's like the
Being opted in.
exactly being opted in.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good. So that, but no, the copying makes sense. Active listening, I talk a lot about, I'm actually recording a podcast right after this, a solo episode that I've been preparing on how to hold space for someone. And this is so much it. It's like, how do you hold, what does it mean to hold space for someone to help them process
in my head,
their
this
emotions?
is literally like, if you would like to hold emotional space with someone,
Yeah.
offer them resonance.
Yep.
If you would like to create emotional safety for someone, offer them resonance.
Yep. Is there any tools you use? Because part of my space holding that I always do, and when I'm helping other leaders specifically teaching them the skills to be able to do it for their exec team or their employees or their people in their life, is there's usually a completion loop where it's like, does that feel complete? Is there more? And it's something I always like to ask of, like, when someone is
like, how
really
do you know
just,
if you're done?
Yeah, how do you know if you're done? And giving them the space to be like, that question, for example, like, what else?
Yep.
Is there more? Like a little bit of the tired air decompressing of just like let out the air. Like you're safe to share and feel all these emotions. It sounds like you're feeling this. Yep. You're really feeling that. Like the copying. Is there more? What else?
Yep. Is there more and what else? Both work great. In resonance, you can do that.
Awesome.
So I'll do that. I'll do, is there more? Or what else?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, once you have done, I would say there's probably the milestone is like, once you've done the 20 resonance, your first 20 resonance conversations, they might be like a minute each. So you've done like 20 minutes of resonance, let's say. Then you will start to get used to, you can subconsciously tell when there's more.
Yeah, definitely.
And you might, instead of saying, is there more? You will do what you did, which is like, I can feel there's like some hesitation
there. Yeah, right. Yeah, makes sense.
Because you knew.
Right.
You knew there was more.
Yeah, I knew there's more. So like, I'm sensing some hesitation. Like,
and then I can say, yeah, because it's this.
Yeah,
this.
and then we're in it. Okay,
whereas
cool.
Is there, and I have maybe it's a kind of a combo of preference plus like I've seen it work particularly well, is like the closed-ended questions are, you can think of them as a lower effort for whoever you're talking to. If you give them a closed-ended question, then that kind of creates, it's kind of like, think of it like, Twitter's 280 characters or Instagram, like, one photo, one video, whatever. It creates kind of a bit of a constraint that makes it easier and lower effort for them to answer.
Right. Versus, and also I think the closed-ended questions can be helpful because it really can help you specify and drill down. Open-ended questions are helpful, especially in the beginning.
It also forces you to make a guess. And making a guess is always helpful.
Yeah, that's good. And that seems like that's a key part of resonance. And I can imagine that also is a challenging part for a lot of people as they start to pick up this as a tool, because they have to make the guess. And when you make a guess, you're going to be wrong, like you said, a lot of the time. But knowing that that's okay and that's part of it. And for the the receiver of the resonance, that like that doesn't feel weird or like because you're asking for it. So I think that to me is the important thing in teaching this is that both parties, like, to me, it would be difficult to resonate someone without their opt-in or permission for understanding what resonance is and the awareness that you are resonating them. I think when that's there, like, this can be super powerful because then it gives both people permission.
Both people know what's going on.
Right. So like, I know
you can feel all the emotions. You know how it's going to go.
Yes.
Totally.
Exactly. Otherwise, I think that, and really that's deeper that's when we get to the questions, the guessing and the exaggeration stages.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's like, it's mostly just active listening and copying. And then you're kind of having to try to get there without getting there. Mm-hmm. But that's why this is really helpful is gives
you permission to be a bit more intense.
Yeah, exactly.
This is high intensity mirroring, basically.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And no, because some of the big thing when holding space for someone just on a regular basis is also asking them, would it be helpful to hear my perspective? Do you want me to just listen? Do you want any advice? Like, what do you
want resonance or do you want thoughts?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Totally. Yes. So
and often the answer is like, my approach now is like, it's always resonance first. Mm-hmm. If the person is anything other than, there's often like a trick, someone will ask for advice, but if you read their body language, there's stuck emotions.
Yeah. And
advice doesn't really help stuck emotions. Resonance helps stuck emotions, and then advice helps once the emotions have passed.
That's so true.
And it's the same thing, like someone's hesitant about something and they ask for an explanation, like, oh, why'd you do it like that? And they're asking for the reason, but has an explanation ever helped someone feel better? Like, on the margin, maybe, but not really. Like, it often makes people feel worse. So instead, it's like, instead of explaining, instead of giving advice, instead of kind of doing any of those other things involving logic or answers or solutions or fixes,
Dissolve the emotion first.
Yeah. Whether you use resonance or something else.
Right.
Just like the core of this, like the most important bit is like logic doesn't help emotions.
Yeah. So true.
Things that help emotions. Advice, solution, fixes don't.
Right.
And even when the other person's asking for that, if they're like on the surface asking for it.
So good. We
Then
can't
you fall into the trap.
It's so true. We can't think our way out of emotions that need to be felt.
No.
It's back to the conversation I was having yesterday with a friend. This is a really helpful framing and tool now for me to use in real time, because, and I won't share the full details or who this guy is, but he was working on another business, and his business partner, they were 50-50, and he was carrying all the weight. His business partner was basically absent. So he went to him basically saying like, I want to take ownership of the company.
Yep.
Let's figure out a way that makes sense. And they were not able to get to a reasonable place for a buyout or anything like that. And so he was asking me for advice on the situation. And I could tell he was really charged up about the fact that he's put in all the work to make the business successful, where his business partner hasn't done anything. And that was like,
he's charged. He's pissed.
He's like really charged up about that emotion is clouding some of the judgment perhaps on what does a buyout look like, or how can we make this win-win? And every time that would be, it's like, it could tell that it was like the sensitive point for him, that spot on the foam roller on like, the inside of the hip or that IT band. It's like that spot for him was that I built the value for this, and he did nothing, and now he wants more value.
I did this, you want it.
Exactly.
This is not fair.
That's right. And so that's an example of an exaggeration statement in a way of being like
100%.
Of mirroring that. And
like, you just want to say fuck you to that guy.
Exactly.
You want to tell him he doesn't deserve any of this shit. Right. Like, I did it all.
Yes. Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
And so using this as a tool, and even just that exaggeration / mirroring statement, can be really helpful, because I can't give him any advice until that is dissolved or worked through. And the best thing I can do as a mentor to him and as a friend is to be able to help him feel and process that.
Emotions first, baby.
Emotions first.
Emotions first.
EF. Emotions first. Get that tattooed.
Totally.
Emotions first.
Yeah.
That's really good. I like
Resonate on the forehead.
Right on your forehead. That's good. Emotions first. That's really good. Okay, so that's really helpful. So that example, right? That makes sense of the friend that I was talking to
1,000%.
yesterday. Yeah.
Because he's asking for advice.
Yeah.
But you noticed like it was sticky.
Yeah.
There's major, like huge stuck emotions there.
Yeah.
And like the challenge, and this is part of the reason why I care about all this stuff, is that when people make decisions, when they have stuck emotions, they make decisions that are much more likely to be worse for the people around them and worse for society and the world at large. Now, the problem is that like most leaders in the world, most people, are not good at helping, like processing their own emotions, let alone helping their spouse or their kids or their friends or their business partners, whatever. Same thing with most leaders. Like most leaders are like dysregulated all the time. Like,
right.
Now the problem is then they make decisions from that place.
And
some of the Abraham Hicks stuff of like, whatever feeling place you're in when you make a decision, it's probably going to give you more of that.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is everyone's making decisions from these very angry, very stuck, very frustrated, very kind of closed off places. What's the effect that most of those decisions are going to have? They're not going to be good for us as like, citizens of the planet. Like, and you see a lot of that effect already. Now, so the better people are at processing their emotions and dealing with that first, then that's awesome, because then they can get to like the other stuff and they can do it from like this neutral flowing place, and they can make a decision that actually like feels good.
Yeah.
And that's much more likely to have good effects for them, good effects for the people around them, good effects for the world. Like it applies, on a family level, at a self level, but it also applies on like the leader of a huge company, or leader of a country, or whatever. I
can see how this is so valuable for co-founders, for anybody making any decision. So where is this decision coming from? Am I taking this action? What is the underlying emotion? And we're all
entrepreneurs of our lives.
Yeah, exactly.
All making decisions all the time.
So good. So I want to get your perspective now on what I saw Nina do.
Yeah.
And because this is making more sense now. Yeah, with the kids.
Yeah.
Lincoln came up and he was like, he wanted to wear his Spider-Man pajamas.
Cool.
But I think it was that Nina wanted him to change into the pajamas.
Cool.
He didn't want to change into the pajamas.
Yep.
Right? I'm sure this happens often. Right?
Yeah, totally.
And he came up and you could tell it was like verge of a meltdown about to happen. And he was feeling sad because he did not want to put on his pajamas. And so I could see where most path A is mom saying, no, we're going to put on pajamas because I said so. Like, this is what we're doing. And that would have easily sent him into down the rabbit hole, crying, upset.
Because his emotion's already at 98%.
Right.
Now it's above 100.
Right.
Boom.
And so instead what Nina did is she got down on her knees and she gave him a hug and said, oh, it sounds like you really don't want to put on your pajamas. Like, or you really don't want to put on your pajamas. Like, you want to stay in your Spider-Man shirt. Like, that
copying, guessing.
Like, that feels so sad. Or that feels so, you feel so angry that you don't want to, put on the pajamas. And he like cried for a second. It clearly hit the spot and he cried, and she just held him while he cried for literally, I'm talking about 20 seconds.
Yep.
And then she was like, I know. She's like, you feel all these things and we're going to put it on anyway. Like, and he cried and then released, and he was good. He put on pajamas without a single thing. Nothing.
Yep. Totally.
No issue. No meltdown. And I was like, I have some friends too that have kids that would have easily been like it could have been a night ending meltdown.
Yeah.
Like a night ending meltdown where they're like, I got to take him home now. Like, this is like, and that's just right.
Yeah.
So that's an example of her resonating him through that decision all the time, every day, multiple times a day, I'm sure.
And it just works like,
yeah,
so unbelievably well.
And we can see how it works with kids because we're all just inner kids.
It's like I'm hesitant to say how well it works because it's just I'm like, this guy's just talking his book. It's like, yeah, I am. Like, I'm super biased, and also like, it's insane how well it works. Like, it's truly crazy.
Also, the fact that it works.
My mom's staying with us,
and
like this morning, I've told her this, and now she's resonating the kids all the time. She resonates me, like resonate her, like, and this morning she was just saying like, it's magic. Like, it was something that happened with Ruby. I don't know what it was, but like, and she was able to help work through it. Yeah. It's wild. And I think the fact that it works with kids so effectively just shows how effective it is in working with your spouse or in business, because we're all just that inner kid. We're all that like the kids just have that emotion dialed up to 98%, and they're going to express it, and they're going to show it, and they're going to say it. They're not going to like try to outthink it. They're full feeling. They're in their full feeling body. Yes. And so if it can work with kids who are in their full feeling body and you can help them resonate through those it works
big
with
feelings,
kids and it works with huge CEOs. It's cool.
Yeah. Like and I feel like that that is really cool. Like, and I think the fact that it does work with kids means that it will work with CEOs too. Totally. Because if you can resonate through very quickly, then you know that it can work for your partner, for CEOs, or for your team members as well. Yep. So good.
Yeah, it's wild.
Cool. I like it, man. Well,
crazy,
this has been awesome. Thank you for sharing with me this tool. I know that
my pleasure. I love it.
Yeah, I can tell. I
love the tool. I love emotional regulation.
It seems like you love it so much.
I love it so much. I'm so excited
sharing this with the world.
Great exaggeration.
And 100%. I can't wait to see you share this with the world. And I'm glad we're doing this in real time, because the world is now has a taste of it. And what are you what are you most excited about with this?
What am I most excited about? I think that I'm just so obsessed with resonance, and have been for a number of years. And I would love to get to the point where there's like 30 people that are as obsessed with it as I am.
Cool.
Because it's like, I talk about me and Nina talk about it all day. Like we both use resonance probably, 30 times a day with the kids, and then like a couple times a day with each other, and a couple times a day with ourselves. And
30 times a day, really?
With the kids, yeah.
Probably about that.
Yeah, literally.
and just to put a pin in that for a second.
Mostly like little micro 20-second blocks.
And I mean, I know this because I know your kids very, very, very well. Like, they don't have meltdowns. Like,
no, they don't.
They don't have meltdowns. No. And that's not like
I'm told that's not a normal thing.
Right.
Yeah. No.
It's wild.
Yeah. Tantrum is like, there's a giant emotion that's being rejected.
And
like, there's no emotional safety because there's a huge emotion. It's beyond, the kid has no capacity to process it. They don't have the VO2 max.
Right.
They need the adult's VO2 max, but they're not getting it.
Right.
And so they're very angry. Like, they're rightfully angry at their parent for like not being able to hold the emotional space that they need. And like, my view of all this is like, we resonate. It's cool because it's something you do all the time.
Yeah.
And you can get really, really, what was I saying? It's like, it's cool because like, when they're kids, it's like, we need to do it all the time. The nice thing is that like, every so often, like it's kind of like language acquisition, where they're just going to internalize more of that skill over time,
Right.
and they're going to be able to be really good at processing their emotions naturally,
Mm-hmm.
which will be great. Like,
Yeah.
most adults don't have this. Most adults don't have this skill in a fluency way.
Right.
Like a
So
lot of
true.
adults, so I don't know what the thing that's a couple below fluency, but
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
that's what most adults are.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they can do it sometimes,
Right.
but not all the time.
Conversational broken English. You
Yeah,
can,
exactly.
You can get around in a taxi
Totally.
cab in the
Most
country.
adults
Yeah.
have broken English
Right.
version of emotional fluency.
Yeah. So true.
But if everybody had emotional fluency, like there's a lot more good stuff that we would all get to enjoy. We all get to be more in play. Like I would just love a world where everyone's like an emotional wizard, really good at processing their own emotions, really good at helping all their friends, like their partners processing emotions, like, and everyone's making decisions from this like really good, like relaxed, open flowing state.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if everyone was as, you know, super high vibe all the time, because whenever their emotions came up, they could get them processed. Like, wow,
That's world peace.
it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
It's
potential.
wild.
And it feels like we're living in a world where we need that now more than ever.
1000%.
And we're really going to need that as we
1000%.
go into this next era.
1000%.
With all the changes that are about to happen.
Totally. It's a good, if AI is going to make everything crazy, it would probably be helpful to get really good at helping the people you care about process their emotions.
Yeah.
It's helpful anyway.
Right.
It's helpful regardless, but like, it's going to be more helpful.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say is like, there's different difficulty levels of resonance. Like the hardest situation to resonate, and my suggestion for people is start with the easy ones.
Yeah.
Because it will be harder than you expect. And send me questions. Like, I hope they send me questions.
Yeah, great.
Chris Barber on Twitter. Whenever they have challenges or thoughts or whatever, like I love answering the stuff. But the hardest is resonating someone when you're annoyed at them and they're annoyed at you.
Mm-hmm.
That's like when you're both a bit dysregulated.
Mm-hmm.
The medium difficulty is when kind of they're annoyed at you, but you're not annoyed at them. And then the easiest is it's a situation that doesn't involve you.
Got it.
But you can get good enough that you can do the third one.
Yeah.
And like when you get there, it's a very trippy experience to be like just completely like in holding emotional space while there's all this other stuff going on. Like very weird in a cool way. But yeah, start with the ones where it's like, start with the lower stakes, like start with the friends where it's, they're aware, you tell them about it. They know kind of how it's going to look, and think also that it will take kind of 20 practice things before you really kind of settle into it, because it's just so different. It's like, we learned how to, every kids TV show, every movie, whenever adults have emotions, the other adults fix the emotions or argue or defend or explain or whatever, or reassure them. Every kids show, same thing. Even the most well-intended kid shows, when the kid has emotions, mostly it's like the parent in those shows would be like, oh, like, yeah, but like it's this other person's turn now, and like we need to take turns. And it's like they're saying it in a kind way, and it's really well intended, but they're still blocking that emotion. Like, do you think the kid that like doesn't really understand the concept of turns yet is like gonna feel better by you explaining that just like they can't do it because it's someone else's turn? No, like not at all.
Yeah.
So we learn all this stuff. Like we learn how to help other people when they have emotions when we're like, 2 or 3 years old by what we see.
Right.
And you've had hundreds of thousands of conversations where that's happened. And for most people, what they do in those conversations is kind of default to maybe giving some reassurance, maybe giving some advice.
You're fine.
Yeah, like, oh, it could have been worse. Like, you're going to be okay. Like, it's all right. At least this didn't happen. Oh, have you thought about this? Like, oh, it's actually not that big of a problem because of this. And like, oh, you don't need to worry about it. Like, or maybe I'll distract you. Like, oh, should we go out and do something fun? Blah, blah, blah. All those things that all avoid the emotion. And so then the emotion's like, they're trying to do its job, but it's like being redirected away. So we have hundreds of thousands of reps of doing it that way.
Right.
So like, yeah, it does take a little bit to like get used to the other one. Get the 20.
Right.
So you have 20 versus 200,000 instead of like 1 versus 200,000.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay. But there is a bit of like it will be harder than, that's what I hear from people. Like one of the messages I got off the other one was like, I've been doing it a bunch, but it's more challenging than I expected or something like that.
Yeah, of course. It's like you're going to the gym and you've never worked out your, your back muscles before. You're gonna
have
be
some
hard.
delayed onset muscle
it's
soreness
gonna be
too.
sore.
Yeah, totally.
So just to go back to that example of the children's show, let's say, right? It's little Johnny's turn now.
Yep.
Like you're saying, the kid who doesn't understand the concept of turns is like, oh, so what should whoever that teacher is in that show, like what would be a resonating way to
like
to move
how would
through
I
that?
hope that someone would do that?
Yes, how would you hope someone would do that?
Basically exactly the example you gave from Nina. So it'd be like, oh, like you really, really, really want to keep using it. Like you don't want them to use it. Like you feel like it's yours. And
they'd be like,
saying.
yeah, they would resonate
like,
with that.
like this is so fun. Like you don't want them to use it. Like that, no. Like it's not their turn. It's your turn. And then you're like, and then you kind of sit with that and see if that's, and then it's like, and even though like, I'm still going to have them do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going to pass it over to them. So I'm not adding any moralization, I'm not adding any logic, explanation. I'm not trying to the most common thing that I see adults do with kids that I really dislike it, is they try and use logic to change how the kid's feeling. It's like, here's an explanation of why you should actually not feel the thing you're feeling right now.
Got it.
Well, it's actually their turn. Like, oh, like you need to be a big boy.
You need to share. Yeah.
Oh, you need to share. Like, oh, like it's too late. All of those are just like, hey, like this is the aggressive version of viewing it, but it's like, I'm smarter than you. I've got this logic. I'm going to use this to change your thing.
Because I said so.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what's the flip side of that?
The replacement is like resonate, express the preference, and then if there's still more emotions, resonate more.
Okay.
It's like resonance sandwich, like resonance is the bread, and then like your preference is the thing. And it doesn't have to be preference. It can be just like, we are going to do this. Or it's like, daughter was going in the car the other day, and like the solution may just be like, oh, like you don't want to like sit down, you want to keep going. And also like, I'm taking your hands off of this thing and I'm like putting you down. I know that sucks. You want to keep playing with it, but we're
doing it anyway. Yeah.
So if it's a genuine question or a preference or an option, make it an option.
Right.
If you're not going to give them the option, don't ask you as a question. Just like, this really, really, really sucks. I know you really want to keep doing that thing.
Yeah.
We're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
and
so
you can
good.
also give heads ups as well. One thing I find like that's really helpful that we do is like, imagine if you're a kid, you're like watching something or playing with something. You've been doing it for what feels like forever because you have no perception of time.
Because you're in your perceptual acid trip. Yeah.
And then like someone says to you, oh, like, you're done right now. You're like, wait, what? Yeah. Like, I've just been in this for what feels like 1,000 years. Like, and now I'm done. Compared to like, hey, like heads up, like in a minute, we're going to leave. Or like heads up, in like 2 minutes, we're going to leave.
Yeah, give some
like,
perception of anchoring that. Yeah,
it's like they're now instead like all of their emotions that might have spiked are like, okay, cool, we have a minute to actually process ourselves.
Yeah,
and like most of the time, or a lot of the time, that minute of heads up is enough for them to process it all
and be fine.
And so then by the time the minute comes up, you've probably seen this a bunch of our kids.
Yeah, totally. I've seen it a bunch of
and
kids.
It's like, okay, cool, we're turning off, and then they turn it off, and it's like fine. Whereas if we'd given no heads up, maybe that would have been like much harder.
Yeah.
And then you have to resonate. So sometimes you can avoid the need for it even with just heads up.
That's good, the heads up. And also I've seen that too with sharing toys of I know you really want to play with this too, but heads up, you're going to play with it for another 15 seconds and then we're going to give Ruby a turn, right?
Totally.
And it's like, okay. And then I also like what you were saying around the I know you don't want to do this, but we're going to do it. Because it's almost like you're on their side. Totally. Versus being the enforcer of the thing, like versus being the bearer of bad news, or no, we're doing this my way. Then it puts you and your kid in a very combative situation.
That's one of the beautiful things is you get to remain in emotional connection through everything.
Yeah.
Like from the time our son was born, our daughter was born, like I feel like I've been in emotional connection with them the entire time. There hasn't been points where it's like we're opposed to one another.
I'm so curious to see how this evolves and how that evolves as they continue getting older. Like what is puberty going to do to this?
I know.
Right? Like when their hormonal systems developing and changing, and like what's teenage going to do? Like right? Yep. I mean, I know your kids aren't going to go to college.
And all the same stuff. Yeah, who knows? Will even exist?
Right.
All the same stuff applies for CEOs with team members. It's like, okay, we're making a company decision. First, make everyone feel really understood. Like make sure that they feel understood about why they think it should be a certain way.
Yeah.
Don't do what most CEOs are going to do, which is they're just going to argue. Now, the problem with arguing is like basically you're saying like, hey, my reasons are better than yours. Which like, if someone has emotions, which most of the time they do, then that's not going to feel that great.
Yeah.
Instead, make them feel seen first. Then also maybe by making them feel seen, you will fully appreciate what they're saying. This is what sometimes happens. Like that's the cool thing about resonance is like to do it well, it forces you to go inside the other person's world.
Yep.
And often you're like, okay, I actually do want to do it the way you said now.
Right.
And there's no coercion by them whatsoever. It's just like in resonating them, you're just like, your preference changes.
Yeah.
Just magically.
Yeah.
And now you like feel good about doing the thing that they say.
Right. Because you see it from you really see it from their perspective. I think that's
It's
what,
just
if I
like,
zoom out,
you
it's
see-
like when you're resonating someone, you're really, like you said, you're putting yourself in their shoes and you're really genuinely and curiously wanting to see it from their perspective and to feel it, to give them that space to process their feelings. And in that, you can see it from their perspective, and that can change the way that you decide to make a decision.
Yep, totally. Like if your kid's like, oh, like I really want to go to the beach, like maybe you resonate them. And then in doing that, you're like, you know what? Actually, that sounds great. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. Does that happen sometimes?
Yeah, I think that happened once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I was like, okay, like,
Yeah, I get it.
that, let's actually go.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing like, well, you know, a common parent thing there might be like, well, like, you know, it's actually not going to, if they're trying to be well intended, it's like, oh, well, you know, it's actually not going to be that fun right now because it's cold or like it's rainy and it's kind of gloomy. But to them, they might be like, well, it's still going to be fun for me.
Yeah.
So like, why are your reasons better?
Yeah.
Like, don't use your logic to tell them
Right.
that their like preference is wrong.
Yeah.
That's like the other like general thing that it's like resonance is the base skill. It's hard. You can't necessarily replace some of this kind of using logic to change people's opinions thing until you also have resonance, because you need to have that piece.
Right.
But like, I look forward to when more people have resonance, because then you get to unlock the not trying to use logic to change people's opinions piece, which I see like everywhere. Like any movie you watch, like that's kind of what happens. And it's like a, you know, intellectual or like a logic ground kind of fight or battle.
Yeah.
Like I said this to Nina a while back. It's like in a lot of ways, like saying why is like the logical equivalent of like a jab in boxing. You're just saying like, okay, cool. Is this person open?
Right.
Because maybe if you say,
Yeah.
oh, why? Then they get really triggered. You're like, okay, cool, they're open. And so now like then what people will do like is then they kind of double down. They go into an argument. Like they've successfully triggered the person, blah, blah, blah. And like, oh, like, you know, I think that's a really stupid way to do it. That might be like an uppercut.
Yeah.
That's just like,
that's so true.
that's like your opinion, man, or whatever the quote is. Like,
yeah, especially with how charged and divisive it feels like politics are, or wars.
Totally.
Like it's like this versus that, this side, our side, your side. Logic is not going to change anything.
It's not going to fucking change it. It just makes the other person double down.
It makes the other person double down versus taking the approach of trying to understand, like, wow, you really feel passionate about this. You really feel fear around this.
I'm probably still going to disagree at the end.
Yeah.
But from a place of like, I feel seen by you, you feel seen by me, our emotions are
compassion. Oh my God. And like that, we need that.
One thing that I would love to do at some point is like, I want to do what I call like a, you know, polarized resonance experiment, where it's like, do exactly that. Take people that are on like totally opposite ends of different very charged issues, whether it's like religious or political or whatever, and then have someone who's trained in resonance basically facilitate a conversation and film it and see like, okay, cool. How much can you get those two people to feel like more relaxed around one another and see more eye to eye? And yeah, they still disagree, but now you probably dislike each other a lot less.
Yeah. You probably have a compassion for the other person a lot more.
Now you both want to mutually, the cool thing also that happens with resonance is like a lot of the time you'll do it. You start out thinking like it's going to be their way or my way.
Right.
In the course of resonating the person, once you understand it completely, then you're like, oh, there's actually like 10 other things that are win-wins that like give you the thing that you're hoping for, give me the thing I'm hoping for. And now we got to find the like win-win when no one has to like even lose their preference.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just hidden. Like, and if we do it just in the logic thing and there's just kind of battling, you never get there.
Yeah. So good. Well, you should do that. You should definitely do that.
Cool, huh?
I feel like you should really do that. I mean, there's a dozen topics you could do that on right now in the world, like,
That'd be so cool.
and sit two people down and record it too. And and then also like the way that person then probably walks through the world is so different
Totally.
because they're not in that perpetual fear state. I
Let's
always
get
thought
rid of
too-
the hate.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. Right.
Dissolve the hate.
Dissolve it.
Hate is like
Yeah.
a very, very
Yeah.
stuck emotion that is very big and it's sat there for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, emotions when they're stuck for a long time, like they're kind of corrosive. Like I think of like a midlife crisis is basically like a lot of stuck emotions that were stuck for a very long time and then like explode out and like the person does like the total opposite of what they're doing.
Right.
Or kind of same thing, like a teenager that's acting out. Like to me, that's like a lot of stuck emotions compounded over time and then like explodes out. It hits the point where like they can't be contained anymore.
Right.
But it doesn't have to be that way. We can instead like process them in a healthy way, digest them, get back to open, calm, flowing. Like you look around, like you go to Whole Foods or whatever, and mostly you see people that are kind of like the body language is like tight and so on. Every so often you see someone like really radiant and flowing.
Open, yeah.
And open,
Yeah, you can tell.
motion regulated.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's kind of what it is. And I hope that the
Yeah.
world can kind of see like, oh, the answer to a lot of things is that the challenge is that there's dysregulation, and the answer is to use some method,
Yeah.
whatever the method is, to get to emotionally regulated
Yeah.
and flowing.
This is very interesting because it's definitely a buzzy, trendy word right now of like, oh, are you regulated? Is your nervous system regulated? But I think a lot of people throw it around without actually understanding. And it's like,
Cool.
okay, getting in the ice bath doesn't mean, if you get in the ice bath every morning, doesn't mean you're a regulated human being.
Right.
Or just because you sauna, just because you go to yoga does not mean that your nervous system is in fact regulated. It's a tool that can help, but there's more dimensions to it. There's the emotional component to it. There's the physical component to it as well, but how they interact with each other. So I love what you're saying of how do you know if you're regulated or...
Which reminds me to say of like, I think some people will use emotional regulation to mean emotional suppression.
Right.
That's what I've heard some people say. It's like when I say it, they think of like, oh, does that mean like stuffing emotions down and pretending to be calm when I'm not? And it's like almost the opposite.
It is the opposite.
The way I use it is like, no, it's about like healthy emotional regulation, which to me is like processing emotions, digesting emotions, like so that they're fully digested.
Yeah. Absolutely. There was something that I, when I did my first retreat in Iceland and I had an emotional release happen during the breath work, which I was so not expecting. This acronym came to me, which is LEAD, LEAD, with emotions. L is listen, like listen to whatever.
Listen to what's going on.
What's going on,
saying.
something, right?
Yep.
L, and then E is embrace, like embrace it and be like, cool, like I'm feeling this. I'm going to embrace the fact that I'm feeling this.
Accept it, embrace it, give it a hug.
Exactly. Yeah. Give it a hug. And then A is allow it to move in whatever way it needs to move, and expression and movement. You can shout at your pillar, like allow it to move. And then D is dissolve. It dissolves after.
Totally.
So like how we lead our emotions. Totally. And that came to me as I was like doing one of the breathing sessions, and I had this wave of release because I was first breathing into this like this tingle that I felt in my belly of like, ooh, okay, what's that curiosity? Like, let me listen to that. Like, let me lean into that. Yeah. Cool. And it's like, okay, I'm embracing, I'm feeling something, like I'm going to allow it. I need to cry. I'm going to allow this. And then after I cried and allowed for it to move, it dissolved.
It's done. Yeah. The emotions, they want to be felt.
That's it.
Yep.
Chris, so good, brother. Thank you for this awesome conversation. Part 1. There'll be another part because I want to do a deep dive into more in our next conversation, more of your career, of your experience. I want to talk AI with you. I want to nerd out on AI and talk about all of these different... Talk about where our humanity's going.
What's coming,
What's coming. So this is a really great
It's going to be weird future.
Yeah. But with tools like this, it's like... I feel like tools like this are going to become critical for our human species to evolve and to continue to be alive, like for our survival.
It does kind of feel like that. Yeah.
It does feel like that.
Yeah. It's kind of weird.
Not to add to the high stakes you already feel around sharing this out there. Awesome. Totally. Well, Chris, love you, bro. Thank you.
Love you too, man.
And until next time.
Great.